So take me through, like, maybe your last job. Like, how does that work?
We do it all. I usually go in and do the test. I'm usually there 3 to 5 hours. You know, I spend an hour or two in your crawl space, an hour or two in your living space, and I spend an hour or two in your attic. You know, analyzing and dissecting everything about your house, your heating and air unit, everything. And then I go back and I put together an estimate, and I actually have, 2 or 3 guys that work in the field for me, and I put together a prioritized recommendations of, hey, this is what you could do, and I kind of make it the cost-effective, prioritize everything, and then I have guys that go out in the field and they take care of it.
Okay, so you're the face of it. You're going to show up. You're going to be you're going to be the guy that's giving them you're consulting them on like what needs to be done. They sign the contract. Your crew comes in there and they get the job done, and then boom, you're off to the next stop.
Yes, sir.
Gotcha.
Them guys in the field is what makes me look good.
No doubt.
They do real good.
Hey,
work.
It's about the team, man. If I didn't have this team, like definitely the people that you partner up with makes all the difference.
Yes, sir.
That's for sure.
For sure.
Cool. All right, so I'm wondering how me and you can work together. I'm like, me as a real estate agent, me going into a house, how can me and you collaborate? Like, what value could I have for you, and what can I say to a client that might have a home that's built in 1960, and how do I get you in the door? Like,
that's the biggest thing is a client education. 15, 20 years ago, energy efficiency wasn't in nobody's mind, no builder's mind, no homeowner's mind.
Right.
And the last 10 years, it's really starting to become a big deal where they're actually putting it into the code. The building code. New houses have to be energy efficient to some degree. But getting the client education. I mean, people with they got the mindset of I've been in this house 20 years and I'm just fine. They don't realize what we can do and how much of a difference we can make. And getting that word out there, word of mouth, really is about the only way to do it. But
right. What's kind of the number one thing you're seeing? I mean, what are you advising most people to do right now when you go into homes? When you walk into an average Christiansburg home that's 25 years old, what are you seeing that people need to be more aware about?
It's 100% insulation and air leakage.
Yeah.
Your plumbing penetrations, going up to the attic, to the crawl space, your electrical penetrations, and you think a quarter size hole, that's not that much, but when you take them all combined, and it is, in the wintertime you'll have people saying they feel their house a little drafty. Well, that's really not drafts, that's the air leakage coming into your house, and then the insulation. I mean, back 10 years ago, insulation, you did get insulation, but it wasn't efficient. It wasn't, up to par to what you need to have in your house.
Yeah. So does insulation have a turn like a roof? Like, you get 30 years out of a roof. I mean, does insulation I know sometimes, insulation can be disturbed by rodents or like it can deteriorate over time with moisture and stuff like that.
Yes, sir.
But does it have a natural life and it needs to be replaced at some point?
No, not if it's done right. And like you just mentioned, the moisture. If your humidity's right and you're not having moisture in there and it's not being disturbed by anything, then it should last you a lifetime.
Gotcha.
But just like you said, you bring in moisture and humidity and rodents and people climbing around in your attic doing work and messing with it, then it will deteriorate. You need to do something about it. But
gotcha.
as long as it's done well and it's sealed properly, then you shouldn't have any problems.
So that's a monitoring situation, and a homeowner just needs to be willing to either have a guy like you come over to evaluate or get in there and crawl around and make sure right. Things are being not being disturbed.
Yeah, and we do a lot of preventive maintenance. When we do an audit with people and we do retrofits, we'll have a preventive maintenance agreement where we come back, twice a year, once a year, and inspect your crawl space, inspect your attic. Because, like you said, there's not too many people climbing up in their attics inspecting it,
Yeah, and I think that's tell me if I'm wrong. I think a pest person probably would want to say yes, but the mice and the snakes and the things that crawl in your house that you don't even know about are probably the number one culprit of that old, unless it's like spraying insulation, that stuff that you get, you just slap up and the
fiberglass bags.
Yeah, that's the one that gets disturbed the most by rodents, right?
Yes, sir.
So like if you're not paying attention, if you're not looking for that constant preventative maintenance, I think you said.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Then you're going to be in danger of energy like leaking out of your house.
Exactly. And, not only inspecting it, but knowing what you're inspecting, Just because you're climbing around your attic doesn't mean you know what you're looking for.
That's true. That professional eye is key.
Yes, sir.
That professional eye is key, no doubt.